All right, everybody, Antique Motorcycle Revival. And I just wanted to do an update today on the Panhead. I've been pretty fixated on this thing, trying my best to get it to where I could just take it up the road one time, you know, and then maybe come back and just keep pedaling with it and working on it. But I'm not too far off, but I've had to do quite a few things and had to learn quite a few things. And just want to try to bring you up to date with where I am right now and how I got there on it. Had to put a lot of this together, and I've got, as you can see, both of the tires are still off, rims off of it. I've got them at the shop right now. They're putting tires on for me. I'm going with the road tread, kind of like I've got on the old flathead over there. I like the Shinkos myself. They're soft rubber, and they just do better on a lighter motorcycle. But anyway, so we've been working on this thing. I got the clutch basket and everything put together. I've already got the cover on that. And so one of the things that I had to deal with was the mouse trap. And I was going to tell you a little bit what I learned about that a little bit. I watched Pacific Mike. I was going to do a video on it, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to direct you to the one that I watched. Pacific Mike does a video on how to set this. There is a sequence that you have to set these. This is called a mouse trap. And what it is an assist, you know, for the clutch. Today, the clutch is at, watch this happen. So today, the clutch is having the assist. They're on ball bearings and they turn, you know, and it's an assist sort of thing, the way they work now. And they're over here in the side. But this was what they used in this on the 57 Pan, or you know, on the for quite a while on these. And I had to learn to. I worked with this thing. I worked with it for 2 days trying to get it to work. It would not work. It would go over and stay, and I would follow the sequence, everything he told me to do. And but I had a problem with my basket. My clutch basket was what was giving me the fit. The studs were sticking through too far for normal. I put 3 fibers, 3 plates in there, just like the book calls for it, everything by the book. And I ended up putting 4 of each. Even though the studs are 3.5 inches long, I still don't know why it worked that way, but I put 4 of each in there, and then I put new springs and I measured them to make sure they were 4, even though they said they were on the package, that they were 4 a Panhead, okay, for the 74, not a flathead, because they're different. And so I got the right springs, I measured them, everything was good. I put them on, and if you've set these before on that clutch basket, you have to have exactly 1 inch where you set that. So I set that to 1 inch, and when I got the proper tension here, which is something that I did not find in any of the videos, but you have got to have the proper tension here for this to work. It will not work any other way, and the reason is because when you go that way with it, it assists you going this way, okay? But it brings it, but it retrieves on the pressure of your clutch hub. And so it's imagine a set of springs here and a spring here, and they're working together back and forth like that, and making it to where you, with a couple of fingers, you can do this, you know. Makes for a nice setup. It's I think I could probably get it a little bit easier, but it'd be hard. I've played with it, and that's about been so far the best I could do with it. I had to check the wiring, go over that a little bit, and I put the gas tanks on it. I had to weld on the gas tanks to get. Had to work on them quite a bit. You can see they're just rough, everybody. Rough, crusty gas tanks, and they're going to fit this bike perfectly well. And so I just got them on there, and now I'm hosing them up. They have the wrong fittings on the bottom of them. And even though they are 57 and 58, you can see that because of the emblem here. They would be the right year for the bike, but I'm working on that right now and hosing it up. This morning, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and couldn't go to sleep, so I come out here and I hosed up the oil filter. It did not have an oil filter on it before. And so I hosed that up and got the fittings. And here's the thing on. I got this bracket, and it was the correct one for a 57, but the aftermarket stuff, it just would not go the right way. Ended up taking a set of torches and heating it and bending it a couple of times and getting it. But where I'm leaving the bike like this, crusty and all of that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter. Really something shiny is out of place on it anyway. And got my fur seat. Everybody gotta love it right there. The lap of luxury, okay, for the Panhead. And got the exhaust tightened up. And I mean, I'm getting close here. But I'll tell you, the latest thing that I've been working on was the steering and the this dampener. This is a steering dampener for these Panheads. And you know, you can see right here that it has you can see here, one of the pieces here, there's a fiber and then a metal piece, and this goes to the frame. And then there's another metal piece fiber, and then it just tightens down. This is a cap, you know, that's on it. And as this tightens down, you can kind of snug your steering up a little bit. Just like the Springer front ends have the one that twists, this one you can kind of snug your steering up. And so I packed the bearings and took everything apart and set that. And then we were looking at it, and you'll see in the books that it'll say, well, they had a problem with the dampeners on these with wobble, and people were actually getting killed on. I mean, high speed, like 67, 70 mile an hour, they would start a wobble and they couldn't come out of it. And it was actually the California police that started reporting this, and Harley Davidson sent somebody out there. So what I learned about all of that to try to figure out, well, what do I do? Because some people were telling me that it gets a dampener. Some say they don't put them on there anymore. It's just for a sidecar. Well, sort of, okay? I'm going to take a second and just explain that. But my buddy Morris, who's an encyclopedia on stuff, he did some research on top of what he already knew. And he let me know this morning how it works is this is a rigid frame, okay? This is a 1957, which means this is the last year of the rigid frame. In 1958, they had a shock back here, which they still got to this day. So they had a shock back here. And this is in 57, they had the shock in the front here, not the Springer front end. 1949 was the first year of a Panhead with this front end. But in 58, they put it in the rear. It was called a dual glide. Duo for two and a glide, okay? Which this is a hydroglide, which is hydraulic front end. And so what happened in 1958, when they come out with the dual glide, they had the dampener that they had always put on them. Come out in the 57, it was on all of the bikes, starting all the hydroglides from 49 to 57. So they put it on the dual glide in 58, shipped the motorcycles to California to the police out there, and all of a sudden they've got this wobble. And what they discovered was that if you have the shocks in the back and this in the front, you cannot have any kind of a dampening on the front end to tighten it up, any at all. It has to be completely free of that in order to not have a wobble. And so they had to take that off of that. So in 58, they took the dampeners off unless you had a 58 that had a sidecar. If it had a sidecar, it got one. But other than that, any solo bikes did not have the dampener on it. And so we kind of learned that. But this being a rigid frame, it's got the dampener, and I won't probably put very much of anything. I won't, put any kind of pressure on it like that. Just have it on there and have it working normal, like a bike would. Usually, what you want to do is with a wheel on it too. If you got a little bit of weight, you want to be able to, and it'll just slowly just fall over. You don't want it to fall over. You just want it to kind of slowly just move over, just be free from that. So anyway, that's the whole deal on the dampening and tightening down the front end on these bikes. I'm learning as I go, and I'm not far. I believe the next video, I'm going to take this thing up the road, and I'll have it out here in the driveway, and we'll at least try to go up the road and let everybody hear it run and everything. I'm excited about it. It's been a project. I mean, quite the project, but I've been tempted you know, to like, cause I don't care for the paint on the frame and stuff too much. And I've been very tempted to try to, you know, fix a few little things. But I know that the minute that I start painting on stuff and cleaning stuff and all that, then that it can only be this way one time, you know. And just the crusty and stuff. And it has character right now. I believe it's just eat up with character. And so anyway, I'm excited about it. And here in probably about a week or so, we'll put a video out of it going up the road. I'm believing that's going to happen. I want to take just a second and ask you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. We appreciate that so much. It helps us to get the word out. And here in about a few days or so, we'll see you on the road.